Hello, my name is Bidasage Elliott. I am the owner, proprietor, head creative of Phyre Fawks. I would like to take an opportunity to tell you about the Pow-Wow Summit. It was an idea that I had come up with this past summer. As some of you may or may not know, I'm an MC at Pow-Wows, and I had a lot of requests to be MCs, and I do my very best to accommodate, and I would often find myself planning out uh, my summers in advance. That being said, I'm also a husband and a father to four great children, and I wanted to make sure that I had a good balance of being an MC, but also spending time with my family. There's only so many weekends in the summer months, and one particular weekend, there was a music festival happening, Powwow in Rama, Powwow in Cape Croker, two one-day powwows going on at local universities, and two more events up north. There was a lot this past summer. There was a lot of that, it seemed. It seemed like there wasn't enough weekends. A lot of powwows, not enough weekends. And you know what? In hindsight, it's a great problem to have. But it's also a bad problem because we cannot. There's not enough dancers to go around. There's not enough drum groups to go around. Not enough MCs, vendors, powwow participants. The people that pay money to come to these events. So I got to thinking, let's have a gathering. Let's get together and talk about, what can we do about the scheduling? What can we do about getting together and discussing what powwows are? To get together and have a conversation about how we can schedule these events for next year. It's just crowding. It seemed like, there's essentially, when you look at it, 12 weekends, and you divide it up amongst all the communities just within Ontario, and we're not even talking about the ones in Michigan, Quebec, New York, Winnipeg. But the idea was to just come together and kind of not so much talk about powwows, but plan for those powwows. The idea of having discussions about that, serious protocol. Protocol is a big issue. It varies from different community. Different communities have different ways of doing things. And, it was my father who had said, whenever you go to MC a place, you would go and you would talk to the community, or you would talk to the committee, and you would say, what is it that you would like to do? How would you like this to run? As an MC, you have a very large responsibility and task. And it's always one I've taken quite seriously. I had an idea, and I decided to just try to make it happen, try to see what would happen. I had talked about it, ping-ponged it, bounced it off a few people that I know and respect, love and trust, and I wanted to see what the reaction was. I had called it a summit. Why? Because it's a flashy name. It sounds great. It's better than a conference or a meeting or a gathering. It's one of those things, because it is those things. But summit, ooh, that's epic. That's the thing between world leaders. That's the thing, when nations gather, right? And that's what we're trying to build. We're trying to build the nations to get together and talk about one aspect of the connection that we all share. So with this in mind, I decided to approach Sherry Lawson, the Chippewas of Rama, and ask for her assistance in it. The idea why I chose Rama, lots of great buildings. The facilities here are amazing, and the generosity shown by the people year in and year out is astounding. And they have a fair amount of resources, and just within the community and with outside of the community, and it's a good central area. It's the middle point, just about the middle point. So it makes sense, and I live here. This is where my family is. My wife is from this community, and this is where I have called home now for over 10 years. So I decided to bring forth this idea to her, and but I also started a business. This was something that I wanted to do. For the past year and a half, I've gone out on several interviews and tried to get a job in the mainstream. But it's very hard to get into event planning in the mainstream sense, event marketing, and you got to go where all the events are, and that's moving to the city, or that's moving to a larger location. And plus, I think people are kind of intimidated by me. I'm a 6'2", standing over 400 pounds. I'm a big guy. And I think when people think of event planners and marketers, they don't see me, and that's fine, right? I decided to carve out my own niche and start my own business. After going through several different name changes and floating around a bunch of different names, I finally actually settled on Phyre Fawks. I had my daughter in the back seat of the van, or in her seat, and we're driving through the eclipse, and I was like, oh man, the eclipse was about to come, the one that happened in middle of August, and I said, you know what, we gotta get home. I was worried about her little eyes, and it just kind of struck me as a fire, a fire in the sky is about to dim, and I was telling this to my little fox in the back seat, Phyre Fawks. And then, so, I didn't want to sound like a Clint Eastwood movie or an internet web browser, so I decided to change the name of it. And Phyre Fawks. And I went and registered that business name. I'm going to be registering the name very soon, as well as getting my website up and going. And I love event planning. For those of you that have seen me at powwows, volunteering, working very hard, organizing, I love committees. I was very instrumental in the social committee with Rama, the First Nations Day, just any kind of events. I just love planning. I'm good at it. I'm really good. The Aurelia Native Women's Group and their Fam Jam, I helped named it. Fam Jam. And I'm working on several different projects right now.